Hey everybody, it's Katie again with Picture Perfect Lawn Maintenance. Spring is springing along great and we are getting ready to start our second round of fertilizer and weed control. So I want to break down for you exactly what that covers. So if you remember from our early spring application, that recovery round that you can learn more about up here, we are focusing a lot on weed control and nitrogen focused fertilizer during the spring to really wake up your grass and start to control those weeds that have started to come through since the winter. Of all of the applications in our 7-stage program, rounds 1 and 2 are probably the most similar to each other. That being said, there are some slight differences in the ways that round 2 is achieving those goals compared to round 1. So I'm going to break those down for you really quick just to make sure that you understand what we're applying to your lawn in this point of the year. We call round 2 our replenishment fertilizer because it's focused on returning a lot of those nutrients to the soil that your lawn is going to need to stay healthy during the summer when a lot of fungus and heat stress is going to be a factor that could put it at risk. On the weed control side, not too much has changed. We're still applying pre- and post-emergent herbicides to A, prevent crabgrass and some broadleaf weeds from breaking through in the summer, and B, to kill off any of the weeds that are still existing in the system from early spring or over the winter that the first round wasn't quite able to get its thumb on. There's a slight difference in the specific herbicides and application rates that we are using to achieve this, but overall it's pretty much the same concept. We're hitting the weeds that exist and we're preventing the weeds that could come up in the summer. At this point in the year, because we have finished round 1 and we are a week or two away from beginning round 2, we're signing up people at this point who want to be covered for the season, but they've just missed the boat in terms of round 1. And that's not any reason to panic. As we talked about in our spring FAQ and tips that you can check out here, while having both round 1 and round 2 is needed for the guarantee on the weeds during the summer, you're still getting a good amount of both nutrition and weed control put down with round 2, even if you missed out on round 1. So you might see more weeds than normal this summer if you missed out on round 1 from us or another company, but it's not anything to panic about. Your lawn is still going to be looking much better than where it probably has been starting from. Now, where fertilizer is concerned, we are still using a really exciting carbon-based product, but it's formulated a little bit differently than last time. So last time we were focused on getting a good amount of nitrogen into the system in order to kind of wake the grass up from the winter, get it growing, and get it green again. At this point, we're dialing down the nitrogen a little bit in terms of its ratio to other nutrients, and we're focusing instead on getting a really solid amount of potassium in the soil and starting to be absorbed by the plant. Potassium is one of those macronutrients that is often overlooked for its importance to overall plant health. It's the same thing for people. Potassium is really crucial for metabolic functions in pretty much all of Earth's life forms, so be sure to eat your bananas. They're a great source of potassium, but unfortunately your lawn can't eat bananas. It doesn't have teeth, so I hope not anyway. So you need to get that potassium into the system through your fertilizer to make sure that it's going to have the nutrients that it needs to stay healthy and be functional. Another thing that potassium is great for, and a big part of why it goes hand in hand with this carbon-based fertilizer that we're using, is that it's really useful for developing a healthy cell wall structure for the grass, which ends up making it more resistant to disease and more hardy during the summer when it starts to get stressed out by the heat. This is so important at this part in the year because we are just a month or so away from starting to have issues not just with heat, but with fungus and disease in the lawn as well. And the last thing that you want is to have a weak or stressed lawn that doesn't have the nutrients it needs and isn't able to fight off any diseases it might be exposed to. But don't worry, we're not just foregoing the appearance of your lawn to focus on the health, even though the health is the most important part. We are still going to be making it even more green, yes, that's right, even more green with the products that we are putting down. In addition to that carbon-based fertilizer, we are also applying an application of soluble iron, which is going to give a really quick green up to the lawn, give it that really dark, rich green color that we like to see as opposed to that kind of bleached out lime green color. And that's really cool the way that it works because iron is very quick acting when it comes to plant absorption, and as a result it wears off really fast. But by the time that it wears off, the nitrogen that we've been building in the system is starting to take effect. And it's a nice seamless transition and it keeps that color a lot more steady in your lawn instead of seeing peaks and valleys. And that pretty much sums up our second application of fertilizer and weed control. It's pretty straightforward. We're focusing on making sure that your lawn is going to be gorgeous this time of year, because the first thing everyone wants is to be able to go outside and enjoy it. So please do so. Be sure to take pictures of your lawn. This is one of the most gorgeous times of the year for it. Check out our video up here on lawn photography so you can see exactly how we recommend taking a picture-perfect photo shoot of your lawn. And be sure to let me know how it's looking. If you have weeds that you have questions about, anything like that, give us a shout. But we will be out probably late April, early May, around that time period based on the weather, to get this application done for you. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a picture-perfect day.